Hi guys. So today I wanted to talk about Isaiah 55 and how impactful this word has just been upon me. So before I touch on Isaiah 55, I wanted to give you guys some context about my situation and how these past few weeks have been. Well, this past year, but specifically these past 2-3 weeks, this last week in general. So leading up to this month of September, before this, I graduated in May. And before that, I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do for my master's. And the Marine Corps came up, specifically the Marine Corps Officer Program, OCS, in Quantico, Virginia. So that's where I just was these past few weeks. As you can see, head shaved and everything. And, well, I signed up for OCS, looked into all the benefits, and I really thought it was my calling, right? Let's dive deep into it. I thought it was my calling. I was always telling my loved ones, yes, this is what God's chosen me to do. And I felt, such a conviction to do it, right? And I was over here thinking it was my calling. I thought it was a calling from God. I thought this was what I was really meant to do. And leading up to it, I was prepping so much physically, mentally. I was, really putting a lot of thought into it. And when I left, everything was good, but, realized everything isn't sunshine and rainbows, right? I go over there to OCS. I'm putting up with the stuff mentally and physically, but I have a moment, right? Obviously, everyone is in their head over there. Everyone's in their thoughts. So I was really in my head, and it was a moment. It was a moment out of nowhere. It was like, I can't even explain it to you guys in words. It's crazy how it just came upon me. It just struck me, right? When I was putting on the gear, a bunch of different things. I was like, is this really what I want to do? Right? And I know a lot of people get that in boot camp, in OCS, whatever it may be, but it struck me very, very deeply. And I decided to act upon it, right? Well, I didn't decide to act upon it right there in the moment, but it was a progressive feeling and I lost all motivation. And I decided to drop OCS. And there went the dream, right? The dream was gone there in that moment. And I come back home, right, a little, not distraught, because the thing is, when I decided to drop OCS, I felt such an amazing feeling. I felt like an exuberance of confidence in that moment when I decided to drop it and actually, come to a decision. Even though I was only there for 2 weeks, I learned so much, and it's insane. It's just crazy. I can't even put it into words. But yeah, I come back and I reassess, and I'm right here right now. I open up my Bible to Isaiah 55, specifically to verse 8. Well, before I even get into that, I literally pray to God and ask him to speak to me in whatever way it may be. And it's just crazy how God works. It's crazy how God doesn't have to talk to you. Whenever people want to say, oh yeah, God's talking to me, God's spoken to me, doesn't mean that he's come down from, heaven and spoken to you like directly right there and there. No, he can speak to you through a person. He can speak to you through the word. He can speak to you through anything he wants to speak through. Obviously, it's not going to be that first point. So my point being, I prayed. I opened up my Bible to Isaiah 55. I read through the whole entire chapter. And, dude, words can't explain. God literally spoke to me. Specifically verse 8, where he says, "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, saith the Lord. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts." So, wow. I'm not going to dive deep into the biblical context. Obviously, we know Isaiah is a very prophetic book, and it's a book pertaining to Israel, to Judah. It's a very prophetic book, but, me taking these verses out of context here, dude, it's insane. I asked God to talk to me, and this is how he spoke to me. You see the correlation here? It's insane, right? And I know I'm at the beginning of this journey, right? I'm here trying to figure things out. I'm reassessing, but I feel such peace right now, and it's insane, right? I'm at home with my parents. I have everything I need, right? But I just feel like everything is going to align eventually, right? It's not about it being a kind of fake hope or fake optimism. No, I just know, I feel it. Just like I felt that feeling when I decided to drop OCS. And I know I haven't really touched too much upon it, but it was a big thing, right? It was a big thing that I thought was going to be my career path, my goal, my calling. But that was my way. That was my thought. And back then I thought it was God's calling. I thought it was God's. No. I was completely wrong and completely thrown off, right? The human mind is very foolish, very naive. And, right, I learned, right, being at OCS, God wanted me to try. God wanted me to just, give it a taste, but not veer off into it, right? It was part of my journey either way, right? Dropping it and coming back here. But I know that God's purpose for me is something much greater and something that I don't even know what it is yet, but I'm so optimistic and I'm just so at peace right now with everything that's happened that, wow, that everything is just going to come into fruition when it has to. God bless.